Hi,
Who's that? Oh, Pascal. Hello.
how are you doing?
Good. Good. How are you doing? Oh, I will match the. Now we're talking.
Wait, there you go. Not too bad. Not too bad.
Are you
A lot to
joining
do.
the GraphQL?
Yeah, yeah.
If it's
Yeah.
not postponed or something, I don't know.
We have booked already everything. We had booked already everything.
Yeah, we. Some of us as well, I guess. I don't know.
Are you
I
coming
remember.
too? All of you?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't tracked it, but I think so. I guess Michael is also coming, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is your yearly get together, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, kind of, yes, yeah. Last time we met was, I don't know when. Was in Austria, I think. I don't know. I think so. Oh, a year ago, something like that. Yeah, a year ago. Or no, during the con. Come on, it was during the con. So it was
Yeah, in November, yeah.
September. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's so close. It's very stressful. We have so much to do. Finishing off the specification, the gateway, all the talks and so on.
yeah. How's it going?
What were you guys up to? Are you still doing GraphQL or
Sorry, wait.
what are you guys up to? Are you still doing GraphQL or are you doing something else now?
GraphQL. Yeah. Now we moved to Prisma.
Right, I see. Okay.
No, it's just I'm working mostly on the gateway stuff at the moment. I will work partially also installate to like not fix but like improve some things there. For the conf, I don't know. I don't have plans.
Gonna be a
From
long
chili,
flight.
from chili cream.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
need
what?
to. I forgot. Yeah, I need to change it.
I was
Hmm?
just like, is that something happened that I didn't know about? But
Ah, yeah, we hide them. Let me call Michael. I guess he thought that you guys gave up.
Oh, he just merged my PR, but it's a poor review. He didn't spot the issue.
Wanted to FaceTime him, but he realized what's up.
Hi guys.
Hello.
So I scheduled the meeting and then I'm late. Sorry guys. Oh,
Apology accepted.
one second. Okay, let's jump right into it. Second. Hello. Awesome. So welcome everyone for another Composite Schema working group. I have a couple of things for the agenda where we have to decide on. And then I really want to get everything wrapped up so that we get a initial proposal for the conference. But let's start with a quick round of introduction so that everything is fine. And let me also remind you that by being here, we all agree to this GraphQL spec membership agreements, the participation guidelines, the contribution guide, and the code of conduct. Also, these meetings are recorded and published to YouTube. I'm Michael, and with that, you can go ahead. I think you're the next, Pascal.
Sorry, I'm Pascal from Chile.
Coming from the guild.
I'm there, Apollo.
Awesome.
But Camille, you're not from the guild.
Oh, I did the pull request to fix that.
Okay.
But it's okay. It's okay. We haven't announced it yet, but
It would be lovely.
I hope you already told Yuri, because otherwise he will.
No, it has to come as a surprise.
I need a screenshot.
Already done.
Okay. So there are a couple of things I've worked on in the past. Let me just quickly go there, because we have an almost complete proposal for the batching stuff. This one, GraphQL over HTTP, and I'm working with Martin from Apollo at the moment to get the GraphQL over HTTP spec over the line. So this should also be done. Quickly, you can see lots of Martin's stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So we now have a combined spec here that describes both batching algorithms, also goes into why, what request shapes we have, and then describes the variable batching part and the request batching part, right? Yeah, that's basically the things we talked about in the past. It's now specified, and we're gonna merge that at, I hope, before the conference. So the idea is to have that in the next 2 weeks. Okay. So if you have any concerns, you can raise them here. Let me actually post that in the chat. Okay, so the next thing on the list is like there are 2 things we have to decide on, like benchmarks. There were in the past benchmarks by the guild. We also forked from that benchmarks and from these benchmarks and rebuilt them quite a bit. Do we want to own them to have a level playing field for these and decide in a group on benchmarks in general and have them under the GraphQL foundation is a question we have to consider. Are there any thoughts? We also don't have to have benchmarks under the foundation, right? It's just, do we want that or do we leave it like it is? Everybody does what everybody wants.
I have no opinions.
Yeah, I know that Yuri wants them under the foundation.
Oh, then I have an opinion, yeah. No, I'm kidding. Opinions are my own, so.
Yeah, there was also a lot of benchmark spoofing in the past by people who not be named, but like that's why I think it could make sense to have like, okay, this is like an official benchmark round. These are the benchmarks. We make sure that certain optimizations don't work in these benchmarks because they kind of make the results meaningless. And then we can also publish them on the GraphQL website. I mean, it's always just, it's not the main decider for someone to decide for a gateway, right? It is some if somebody is strongly opposed against that, then we drop it. But if not, then we try to get it under the foundation.
I think it's important to get it as close to official as possible, because I really don't like the Volkswagen benchmarks. I think that's really not the idea of a benchmark.
Yeah. Yeah. And like we did a lot of work on that in the past, but I mean, I also wouldn't just take ours. I would basically try to find something that we can move under the foundation, right? But like we did a lot to get them normalized and also make sure that they are fair. Okay. Let's go to the next topic that goes in the same direction. Also, again, if people are opposed or not opposed to it or favor it, would be good. Like the yeah.
I was just coughing, but if you want to say, if you want me to say something, I can. So, I mean, I do have opinions about the test suite. I think this is something that again, either we or the foundation should own, because it goes into the same category.
Yeah, also like
we could also like I kind of like what the guild does with the federation benchmarks and with the federation tests, and I think that it would be good to have something like this as well. It's not to blame anyone not implementing the full specification or something like this, but it's actually quite good to know.
Helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a couple of people that asked, and now again, like there was a Go person and a Python person that asked to implement this thing. It would just be good for an implementer to see, okay, I have still this to do, not as a blame list, but as a, okay, I can run my own gateway against that, and I see I'm passing the outside tests. It should not validate the algorithm or your method, how you do whatever you do in the gateway, but kind of, okay, we have these kinds of subgraphs, we have these requests, and this is expected. So the guild has a huge test set, which I looked into, and I started stealing tests from that for the Composite Schema spec. And we could have, based on that work, like there are some that don't apply to the composite schemas, but we could like convert easily the ones that would work, and then have them co-located with the specification text, so that you basically have the specification text, you have the suite. We even don't have to publish the results. It could be also just the tool. Like, here's a spec, here's the test suite. You can run it against your gateway. Thoughts on that?
I see them as like the HTTP, like GraphQL over HTTP audit, like kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good example. Because then it's not just the spec text, it's also like here you can see you're going in the right direction.
Yeah, because like without actually running stuff like the real queries and with data, etc., like you cannot really like verify from the gateway implementer perspective that you're following the spec or something. So it's really, really helpful. And it's just like one thing that I like about it, and yeah, I wrote them, but like what I like about it is like it's basically like a test suite. So you run it as part of the CI or whatever, and then you see if you have like a regression and then stuff like that. It's really nice.
Yeah. And I would also base it on your tests. And I mean, I don't want to interfere there. If you want to contribute that, it's also fine. Just that we have it, like if we want to have that, and I think we should want to have that, we should have it in the spec repo.
Either that or in a
or in a composite schema validation or something like this, or tests or whatever.
Yeah, spec probably makes sense. By the way, do we have this for the main spec as well?
No, we are fighting on that for years. Like, there was the GraphQL, like very, very in the beginning, like 2017. I was sitting together with Oleg and others to create something that was called GraphQL Cats. But because Oleg died at some point, the project died. But the idea was to create something like that for the main spec.
Okay, yeah, because that's something that would be very helpful there as well, or would have been. In the meantime, it's like everyone has a GraphQL server anyways.
Yeah. But I mean, we so come in, shall we just fork what you have for federation, then go through and just delete everything that like interface object and stuff like that we don't have in the composite schema spec, and then do it. I looked over it. It shouldn't take so long. It's basically a rewrite of the schemas, but everything else should work fairly similar.
Yeah, I mean, we would have to convert the subgraphs.
Yeah,
a bit, so then they follow the like regular GraphQL convention. And yeah. One thing.
I did the same for the benchmarks, right? These are all here federation gateways, but I basically built another set of Rust and .NET subgraphs for the composite schema spec that basically were based on your subgraphs. So it's fairly easy to go from one to the other.
One thing to note about those tests, or like when we would want them in the composite schema working group, is that there is no server document or like gateway document, like supergraph equivalent. So then somebody would have like, this should be somehow part of the like here you run the queries, but we give you the schemas. And I mean, this is what I did with the federation test. So like you feed the couple of schemas with the metadata and whatever you need, and then you produce something that can be used by the gateway. So,
I mean, this is very, very, very similar, right, to the benchmarks, because here it's pre-composed.
Yeah.
And we would do the same for the. You give us your gateway with your, like, you can take the subgraphs, compose, and then give us the gateway, and we can run like outside tests against this gateway, kind of.
Yeah.
So yeah. So are we in favor or against? So I take it as a yes. Then we I touch back with you on this coming after the meeting, and then we try to get the tests that you did for federation over, and then we rewrite and repurpose them. And,
yeah, sounds good.
Awesome.
It can be in C#, I don't mind.
Oh, it's easy to rewrite that in like, because I think if we leave it as is, it's easy for everyone to use. Because they were TypeScript, and then yeah, it should be fairly easy to rewrite to the composite schemas.
I mean, Derek also knows C# and TypeScript, right? And it's essentially the same thing. You just, instead of .NET Run, you just have to do yarn run. Same thing.
Awesome. Okay, then we get to the last point. What's left to do? There is. Oh, here. There is not so much to do. There's polishing to do, right? But let's quickly go into the spec first.
So I think the two main things that were missing was the actual algorithm for satisfiability.
Exactly.
And also like I think the query planning. But
the query planner is something we didn't want to specify, right? That was what Martin didn't want to have in the spec. Like the reason for that, Derek, was like that we don't bind people to a certain algorithm.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's like I do remember there was like something missing satisfiability, but I thought it was also missing something else with the query planner. But we haven't met in a while, so it's like my memory is all.
Yeah, don't worry. It's like I took over this from Pascal actually, and that is the satisfiability. I mean, we have to go through that again, right? Everybody can read through that and see if it works. And there is the plan options method. So that is basically you could reuse or repurpose this to infer the planning algorithm from this plan options method function that we have encoded in the spec. Because it basically plans which possible options are next from a certain point, right? We have to go through that and agree on that, and then we could merge that. I would say so I lifted it in the composition chapter, and from a spec structure, we don't have executor. Or we have executor and describe it just rudimentary. We could also say like what is the component of the executor? Like there are maybe even give an overview in the how this stacks up. Like it has this standard graphical validation in front. Then we have the executor. The executor is where the query planner and blah 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 lives potentially, because it could also work without a query planner. But kind of describe it a bit how the architecture of a gateway looks like component-wise, but don't go into detail on that. And then it's basically finished. We have the source schema. Like this is this chapter needs just a bit polish, which describes how subgraphs can annotate their schemas. We have the composition, which is fairly extensive, and we described how an executor looks like. Plus, we have here the specification of the field selection map, and I think then that's it. That's the bare minimum you need to describe how the system should work, that we can interface each other with different components in this ecosystem.
We also have to go like through all of the algorithm. I think most of them are actually not really good.
Yeah, but this is work that is left, right? Once this one is in, I think I'll take a crack at the execution algorithm just to give it more, just explain it a bit, how a gateway should be is structured in general. I will have a look at the GraphQL specification, how they describe it, if they even do it. And then we could, over the next 2 weeks, like this should be done. Hopefully. Yeah, and so what would be helpful if you guys also go through the spec, like the compiled spec even, if it's and just look it over, find things that you dislike, and then we can fix them up. From your side, anything on that?
That's good.
Okay. So let me just recap. So benchmarks under the foundation, yes or no? Or do you want to ask first internally, Derek?
I can double check, but I think it should be fine.
Should be fine. Okay.
You know,
and
with
test
the
suite
little
is
disclaimer that I'll double check, but it should be fine.
Yeah. Okay. No. That's why I asked. And then test suites.
I think it's the same thing, so it should be fine.
Yeah. Okay. I could go ahead with the test suites. Maybe Kamil, you could contribute them. Then we are fine from a process, and you get the attribution, like that the guild actually did the base work, and then we can start refactoring.
Sure. Where should I put them? Do we want to have
so where do we want to put them, Pascal? Like, should we make a repository for them, or?
Well, let's put them in the spec repo.
Okay.
I think where they belong.
Okay, then we do put here tests, or create a folder here, just tests or whatever, and then.
Okay.
Then we describe. Then we start refactoring them and describe, like, put into README how you can test your own gateway with it. Okay, and that is then also clean from the copyright stuff for the foundation.
Yeah.
Awesome. And that, I think, will also show a lot of progress after that. Okay, if nothing else from your side, I'm done with my topics.
Thanks for your TED Talk.
Who is at GraphQL, by the way?
All of us, no?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
No, Derek, you're not joining.
No, I'm not.
Why not?
Oh.
It's too far. Not local.
What? You're coming to Amsterdam, but San Francisco too far?
It happens. I think Sachin is gonna be there because he's local to the Bay Area, and Martin is flying, I think, because he's doing the talk.
I mean, he has a talk.
Yeah,
would be good. Okay. Yeah, and okay, and if there's nothing else, we can close the meeting.
sounds good. Yeah. So, yeah, I think the main part is to review your PR for satisfiability, right? That's the biggest part.
Yeah, and also go over the spec. If you find something you don't like, now is the time to kick it or rework it. Then we try to get a draft, the next stage, in the next 2 weeks, and then sign off in the summer.
Cool.
Awesome. See you guys.
Bye.